Hi, Ian Dainty again. And again, we're going to carry on today with 101 marketing questions for business growth. And today we're going to look at question 8. Yesterday was the best reason for a prospect to do business with you. And today we're going to do what's the worst reason for a prospect not to do business with you. Why don't you want them to do business with you? So let's look at 4 reasons why they shouldn't. You shouldn't look after them. Maybe they're too big. As an example, if you're a startup company and maybe you can't handle a Fortune 500 company. Now, you may be able to handle one of their small departments, and I'm not saying to avoid them altogether. There is one big way, I believe, that you can compete against the big boys of the world, like the IBMs or whoever else you're going against, and that is to offer a guarantee to the company you're with, you're competing against, and that you will, if they don't like for any reason what you're doing or your product, then you pull it out. So, but that's something you got to look at very quickly, or very thoroughly, rather. The other one is too small. As an example, perhaps you're doing business and somebody is a startup, and they want you to take on more and more responsibility. As an example, I had a client who was trying to do business with somebody who was a startup, and they kept this startup tried to keep beating my client down in price. So we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we're going to give you all kinds of money, and once our business gets going. And so my client started to go along with it. And I said, wait a minute now, we're financing their startup. I said, we're not in the financing business. Here's our rates. If they don't want them, go to somebody else to start up. Well, what happened was my client that I was working with finally agreed to some of their terms, and it turned out they couldn't get financing, this other company. So be very wary about small companies that keep trying to nickel and dime you to death even after they've signed up. Perhaps there's no interface with the other company. Like, you need somebody who understands their business but also understands your business too, so that you can interface with that person without spending all kinds of time and having to hold them, and then they become the client from hell where they're phoning you up every 10 minutes. I don't understand this. I don't understand that. So you've got to have the proper interface with this client. That's why you don't want them to be you don't want to do business with them. Maybe they're not willing to work. Now, that goes along with the interface one, where, yeah, maybe they do have an interface, but they're not willing to work at it. They want you to do all the work. And so that's why you've got to lay out exactly what your terms and conditions are for doing business with people. Okay, so obviously they have to do some of the work in order for your implementation to be successful, whether it be a product or a service. So if they're not willing to work and at things that you need them to do, then you're just going to lose. So you've got to have that interface too. And the second one is they have no plan. They don't know where they're going, or their plan isn't feasible, or what they're doing, as I explained in the one about the too small client, the startup client that wanted them to basically fund their startup. If they don't have a plan where they're going, they're going to come in with number 3, 2, or even number 2, where they're, there's not that they're not willing to work. They just don't have a clue what they're doing because they don't have an interface. So if they don't have a plan where they're going, make sure that you do that. So there's 4. I'm sure there's a lot more, but there's 4 reasons why you shouldn't do business with some prospects. Again, if you have any questions, please email me at this address. You can click on the link below in my signature. And please like this and pass it on to your colleagues and let them know, or your business partners, or people that you, even some of your, maybe some of your competitors, etc., that you do business with, who are not direct competitors, but other competitors. Until next time, thanks a lot.